Good morning, good morning. It is Tuesday, October 7th. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month and Domestic Violence Month. Please inform yourself on these topics. Um, I want to thank God, who is first in my life, for allowing me to see another day and for allowing me to still be in the land of the living. It is a rainy morning. A raining morning. Ooh. Rainy morning in Joliet, Illinois. Okay, so let me just get right down to this. What we have going on. Okay, I made a mistake. I got to go back and fix that. The title is President Donald J. Trump versus Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson. You can't make this stuff up. So, first, I want to share with you what's going on in Chicago. Chicago was one of those cities where everybody could come to. They got overthrown with migrants. And let's not get it twisted. I want to make this clear. Anybody can come to this country. Just do it the right way. You know, stop making excuses. Stop talking about the system. You know, they can get their paperwork just like I have to, renew my license, renew my public aid, renew my Social Security. So, and then the illegals. Then there's criminals that are coming over, because they could just come over. No background checks, no nothing. But again, I will say, I have nothing against any other human beings. Everybody should be able to walk this earth and live in this United States of America. But there's also rules and laws that I've had to follow, and the same should apply to everyone else. Now, moving forward, we're going to talk about this Mayor Brandon Johnson.
Just answer the question.
Brandon Johnson
also like to get
is gonna have Chicago in an uproar. Okay, let me tell you something. I don't care how many times he go to court and file lawsuits. The federal government will supersede anything that Brandon Johnson is trying to do. Brandon Johnson need to let ICE come in and do their job. Find these illegal criminals. Get them out of here. But he can't do that. You know. Brandon Johnson can't do that. He's gonna get the city of Chicago, the YNs, and everybody else messed up. Okay? Now, I want you to look at a video.
Lateral damage in this. And all of... See,
Hold on.
I'm pissed off because a lot of people up there are acting like they don't understand what is actually happening in the city of Chicago in regards to the ICE raids. Let me tell you something. Black people, again, are collateral damage in this. And all the black people that are getting mad at ICE and Donald Trump, hold on. You got to get mad at the politicians right here locally, because it was the politicians right here in your city that decided to dump the migrant issue on the black community like they do every single time. When they came across the border and checked asylum, they were able to come over into our city and get incentives like medical care, 6 months free rent, free transportation, free child care. We fed them each and every day. And those people that they were giving assistance to, they didn't go up to the north side and to the white community. All of the people out there protesting that are white, they didn't open up their doors for them, and they didn't want none of the shelters on their neighborhood. Guess where they opened up the shelters? In the black community. Those same school buildings that they shut down in 2013 that were educating black kids, they took those school buildings and they made them migrant shelters. And then they gave over $700 million to a company out in Florida to manage those shelters. They took the buildings that you've been asking for to be developed and build new housing, and they made them into migrant homes, giving them 6 months of free rent. They dumped the problem on black community like they do every single time. When it was George Floyd riots, they closed downtown and pushed people to loot into the neighborhoods because they knew that people didn't care. Where was all the people right now? They weren't in our neighborhoods helping us open up back up our businesses. They were not in our neighborhoods helping us clean up. They weren't in our neighborhoods when we were fighting for Laquan McDonald, who was shot 16 times by Jason Van Dyke. I didn't see them at the protest. But now, right now, they want to make black people a part of the fight. When they made us collateral damage in the first place, we are always losing. That's why ICE is raiding buildings where black people are. It's because they put them there. They pay for their rent. They pay for their food. They pay for their child care. They pay for everything, but they didn't put them where they live. They put them where black people live because they don't want to invest into the community. So that's the easiest place to dump a problem. So, yes, we can say ICE is being aggressive. Yes, we know that our armed forces are always aggressive more to us. But what we can say is that our politicians did it to us. They should have never allowed them to come over here in droves like they did. And then when they did come over here, they should have never put them and dumped them in black communities, acting like we didn't want economic development, like we didn't deserve better schools and deserve community centers and deserve grocery stores. We deserve better. And our politicians need to act like it. Stop putting everything before us.
Okay. Chicago.
It was the ones themselves.
Oh gosh, hold on.
They're alive.
Enjoy a night of... Enjoy a
Chicago.
night of chaos.
$700 million for migrants. Doggone shame, ain't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But like I say, the politicians, they allowed it. They got all of that money, and they let those people just walk over here. This is freely. Now, while they're trying to filter through the mess, everybody, they want to say, oh, we don't like the migrants. No, we love them. We just want them over here the right way, and we don't want criminals over here. And they need to go back. And then you have those that have been over here for years, stop lying, talking about the paperwork, the system, and all of that. finding excuses. Yeah, they were a lot of illegals. They've been coming here, living in the same house, getting paid cash money. That's why they were able to build up their communities, because they played the system. This is April Showers, and that's my opinion, And so I can respect anybody else's opinion. Good morning. Good morning. Now, another thing I want to talk about is, and I want to show y'all video. I'm coming with facts. This man, Brandon Johnson, is going to have Chicago and all the YNs, and y'all know what YNs mean. He going to have all of these people messed up because they're going to think they don't have to listen when these federal agents come to town. But let me tell you, the federal government supersedes state, local government officials anytime. You have CPD, the superintendent of Chicago, and Brandon Johnson will probably be trying to get him fired because he has now blasted Mayor Brandon Johnson.
We don't have to agree with it.
Hold on.
It doesn't matter. You don't have to agree with it. We do not interfere with their orders. And when they go out to carry out their orders, they will do that the way that they're trained to do it and their understanding of what it is they have to do. Another one. CPD will not arrest and cannot.
I will tell you right now, I'm a person that lives on the south side of Chicago.
Hold on.
Arrest and cannot arrest federal agents because someone deems what they're doing is illegal or unlawful. Their rules of engagement are different from CPD and other local law enforcement agents. We need to be clear about this. If we're not clear about this, we will see another event like we saw Saturday. We cannot move like this in this city. If we want to keep the peace in this city, we need to be smart about how we do things. And attacking law enforcement under any circumstances is not safe for anyone.
So we have the worst mayor in Chicago history trying to tell people they don't have to listen to the federal informants, ICE, and all of this. Oh, yeah, you got to.
We don't have to agree with it. It doesn't matter. You don't have to agree with it. We do not interfere with their orders. And when they go out to carry out their orders, they will do that the way that they're trained to do it and their understanding of what it is they have to do. Another one. CPD will not arrest and cannot arrest federal agents because someone deems what they're doing is illegal or unlawful. Their rules of engagement are different from CPD and other local law enforcement agents. We need to be clear about this. If we're not clear about this, we will see another event like we saw Saturday.
The stupid mayor of Chicago has people not wanting to follow breast cancer. I'm a 2-time survivor. Okay. They have the residents of Chicago, this ignorant, stupid mayor who y'all listening to, telling y'all don't have to listen to the ICE agents, the National Guard, the FBI. Come in and do their jobs. And don't get me wrong, the system is not right. I mean, you do have people that are probably being detained that are actual citizens and stuff, but that's just part of the process. Brandon Johnson, the sorry mayor of Chicago, who's gonna have these YNs who's got them messed up, who's got all of these people thinking they don't have to follow what I says. And yes, you have to listen to the federal government. These people are coming, they're going against the ICE officials, okay? And so they're not following their orders. So all that's going to do is bring more heat to Chicago, okay? To Chicago, put more pressure on y'all, and we're going to have World War III starting in Chicago. But you got an ignorant, stupid, dumb mayor telling people they don't have to follow what the government, what ICE has come in to do. So therefore, everybody's going to have to pay for the ignorant results of a mayor, Brandon Johnson, and the ignorant governor, Pillsbury Doughboy Pritzker, okay? See, they gonna have y'all writing checks that y'all behinds can't cash when y'all get arrested, when they raiding, pulling y'all over, because instead of them saying, we're gonna let ICE do their job, get these illegals out of here. And I know the process, some people think it's cruel. Trump didn't start this terrible process. Do your research. Look up 2018, what Obama did. Okay? Okay? So, then I got some more video I want to show you. This mayor, Brandon Johnson, is a people.
Cops on the streets in Chicago help
Hold on.
complement those programs to make Chicago safer.
Look, we are working hard to make sure that our police department is fully supported. I don't believe that just simply putting out an arbitrary number around police officers is the answer.
I don't know what to say. Why couldn't he just answer the question and say, yes, if we had all the funding that we need for all these programs that I think are the most important, if we had more police officers, I think that would also be helpful. If I was asked the same question, I do think programs are helpful, but they're only helpful in conjunction with law enforcement. You can't do one without the other. You can't just have police and no programs to help people who are addicted, people who need to recidivism reduction, which means that when they get out of prison, they need to have a reason or a way to stay free and be productive in society and not go back to jail. And so we can have programs that can be helpful to those people as well. But we also need for the people that don't want to do the programs and they want to rob your mom and them, for them to go to jail and stay in jail. And then they can get the program to help them get out and do the right thing. Why does he have to just deny the presence of law enforcement or the support for law enforcement? Why?
Black people in Chicago, let's get this clear for the record so nobody is confused, right? In 2020 and 2021, when Democrats, specifically Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, flooded Chicago with the illegal, undocumented criminal invaders, y'all didn't have nothing to say about that, right? When the mayor, Lori Lightfoot, gave them benefits, millions, prepaid EBT cards with $10,000 on it, prepaid Visa cards, 6 months worth of free rent, free healthcare, free childcare. Y'all were okay with that. And then you all continue to be okay with it by going out and voting for Kamala Harris to continue what she was doing with the open borders, right? Now that ICE is there to actually do something about it, right? With Trump's mandate, now you all are boohoo, whining and crying, complaining that ICE is coming to black neighborhoods. What the hell is wrong with y'all? Where else are they supposed to go when that's where y'all allowed them to go? You see, Democrats didn't put these illegals in Oak Brook or Oak Park or Evanston in any of the white neighborhoods, yet you got the white liberals downtown protesting to keep those people there because they know that they're in black neighborhoods. And y'all goofy. Y'all falling for this. Y'all voted for Kamala Harris, and now y'all are protesting ICE coming to black neighborhoods to remove these criminal invaders. Y'all are calling ICE racist for coming to the black neighborhoods. Well, why are they coming to the black neighborhoods? Because that's where you all allowed them to go. So tell me
You also
You
like
can't.
federal.
This whole immigration process was what they started, and now people trying to clean it up. And it's a shame. Mayor Brandon Johnson gonna get the city of Chicago residents messed up even further. You have to follow the federal government. You gotta let ICE do their jobs. As the guy said, they dumped all of the migrants in the black neighborhoods. Now they going there. So when they do them raids, be mad at the one that's telling y'all that y'all don't need to follow what the federal government officials are telling y'all what to do. And then I don't need nobody trying to show me stats and facts and stuff about the city of Chicago. The city of Chicago has been a terrible city starting back from the Al Capone days. They have lied, schemed. Every governor has went to prison. I don't believe none of the stats. You know, hey, they kept from us. Laquan McDonald had been unalived and shot 16 times. They kept all of that hush hush. Okay, so Ronnie Manuel could get a second term. Remember, these politicians all crooks. They're the same bird. They flapping their wings. They don't care about you or I. You or I. Mayor Brandon Johnson have probably got so much money for those illegals. He's probably set for life and got plenty of generational wealth off letting those migrants come to Chicago. He don't care about the city of Chicago.
Put 5,000 more cops on the street in Chicago. Would that help drive down crime?
Wait a minute.
The question: would you also like to get federal funding to help put 5,000 more cops on the street in Chicago? Would that help drive down crime?
Well, look, policing by itself is not the full strategy.
No, I understand that. You've talked about the other things you want. If you get all of those other social programs that 800 million that New York City does, Los Angeles and other people do with great success, would an additional 5,000 cops on the streets in Chicago help complement those programs to make Chicago safer?
Look, we are working hard to make sure that our police department is fully supported. I don't believe that just simply putting out an arbitrary number around police officers is the answer.
I don't know what to say. Why couldn't he just answer the question and say, yes, if we had all the funding that we need for all these programs that I think are important, if we had more police officers, I think that would also be helpful. If I was asked the same question, I do think programs...
we've just got to face...
I do think programs...
Have to face the fact...
Republicans
Hold
and
on.
Democrats alike, no matter where you stand on the aisle, I have been looking over the last week and watching the spirited discussions around free speech. And I want to, say, free speech is just what that is. Free speech. In America, we all have our views and our expressions. But
internet is going out. There are so many people in the city of Chicago that are just upset. Believe me, the real people that's in Chicago that have not been paid to come out there and protest, they want ICE in there to get rid of the bad. They understand that the migrants was put in the black communities. That's why they're raiding. Hey, they come to pick up other people, so of course they're gonna be in the black communities, because that's where they put the migrants. They didn't put the migrants in the nicer areas of town. Don't get fooled by these people mumbo jumbo. To you YNs living up there in Chicago, let ICE do their job. Let ICE do their job. Because being that they allowed them to come in the black communities, to the YNs, I'm sorry, you're going to be part of the program and the process when they getting ready to raid these people. But blame your so-called mayor and your leaders. Blame them. Blame them.
In conjunction with law enforcement.
Blame them. Blame them. Blame them. That's who you need to place your blame. Don't allow Mayor Brandon Johnson or Governor Pritzker to tell y'all do not have to listen to federal agents. You don't have to comply to them. Yes, you do. They are still law enforcement, and they supersede the city. The whole point of it is they are law enforcement. And the more y'all resist, the more y'all keep doing stuff, they're going to send in more agents. Why are you mad that they're sending in agents to get rid of criminals? And unfortunately, it's sad that some people will have to pay. They're going to have to pay. Hey, Cruising is fun. Hey, Marion. Hey, Uncommon Sense with Jose. Hey, Wellness with Frugal Mom. Hey, Maurice. And I don't want people to get this twisted. Anybody can come to this country. Just do it the right way. We got enough problems. We got enough problems. But like I say, I'ma always be biased because my people built this country. Slaves built this country, never got anything. And no, it's not the migrants' fault that they were allowed to come over here, get free housing, free food, everything. But just do it the right way. It's not their fault. It's the politicians' fault. And all of this is politicians' fault. So the more y'all resist the federal government being in Chicago and Broadview, Illinois, the more y'all resist, the more agents they're going to send in. Do not listen to anybody that tells you you do not have to listen to law enforcement. That should be a red flag right there. This is so stupid. I mean, Like, y'all, that man, Mayor Brandon Johnson and Pritzker need to sit their behinds down because they've gotten so much money for these migrants coming in Chicago and the state of Illinois. They've gotten so much money. Mayor Brandon Johnson done protected the migrants more than he has the citizens of Chicago. Okay? It is what it is. Mayor Brandon Johnson gave more concerns about the migrants because they were able to get money. Okay? They were able to get money. Shame on you. Shame on all of these politicians. They all dirty. They all flapping their wings. Ain't none of them Democrat, Republicans. They all about money. They don't give a darn about you and I. They all lining their pockets up. They all getting money. And they don't care about the regular, everyday American people. They don't care. They don't care. One bird, they flapping the same wings. They don't care. They do not care. Mayor Brandon Johnson is a joke. He's a joke. He's pathetic. Him and Governor Pritzker. So, if Chicago does not want ICE to be there, they will let ICE come in, do their job, find the criminals, get them out of the city, and be gone. But no, you got a mayor that's provoking the people. You got a dirty, no good mayor that's provoking the citizens, telling them that they don't have to listen to law enforcement. And you people, y'all sitting there listening to them. So when they have the National Guard, FBI, ATF, everything in the city of Chicago, I guess y'all will be satisfied because y'all listen to an ignorant mayor such as Mayor Brandon Johnson and an ignorant Governor Pritzker. This is April Showers. Do not let these people turn Chicago into a battleground. A battleground. The Chicago Superintendent of Police has spoken. Let me remind you what he said.
We don't have to agree with it. It doesn't matter. You don't have to agree with it. We do not interfere with their orders. And when they go out to carry out their orders, they will do that the way that they're trained to do it and their understanding of what it is they have to do. Another one. CPD will not arrest and cannot arrest federal agents because someone deems what they're doing is illegal or unlawful. Their rules of engagement are different from CPD and other local law enforcement agents. We need to be clear about this. If we're not clear about this, we will see another event like we saw Saturday. We cannot move like this in this city. If we want to keep the peace in this city, we need to be smart about how we do things. And attacking law enforcement under any circumstances is not safe for anyone.
What about protecting the people of Chicago from violent criminals, robberies, killers, murderers, jackers? He is signing an executive order to protect the city of Chicago from the federal government. The federal government is not going to hurt anybody.
Hold on. I mean, if y'all do, hold on.
Chicago. They're going to help. Okay, I just
Oh crap. Oh, the internet's
read
active.
off the statistics in DC because, you know, the federal troops, just the presence of the federal troops, get these bad actors, you know, they keep them in the house. It makes them nervous, okay? What about protecting the people of Chicago from violent criminals, robberies, killers, murderers, jackers? He is signing an executive order to protect the city of Chicago from the federal government. The federal government is not going to hurt anybody in Chicago. They're going to help. Okay, I just read off the statistics in DC because, you know, the federal troops, just the presence of the federal troops, get these bad actors, you know, they keep them in the house. It makes them nervous. Okay? What about protecting the people? Your loved one passed away in the hospital. You let a man you barely.
That's what I say.
No sign
Hold on.
about black people hating on immigrants. Because black people ain't got no reason to hate on no immigrants.
No, but
Let me tell you something. You get them signs down. They hung this in our community. We want it off the polls. We want that to be the beginning of a hate crime. And that organization, which is a white liberal organization, like in the words of Malcolm X, who told us what? That the white liberal is the worst enemy to the black man.
Come on,
And
sister.
you coming up in here acting like y'all representing some social justice.
Say that,
But all along,
Say
all
that.
you're doing is trying to use black people
Say
to
that.
find a reason to make some money.
Auntie ain't got time for these games. You remind me of my Aunt Linda. She ain't got time for your games, people. Y'all can't do black people like this for this long without them saying something. Who auntie is this?
You don't hang no sign about black people hating on immigrants. Because black people ain't got no reason to hate on no immigrants.
No, but-
Let me tell you something. You get them signs down. They hung this in
Again,
our community.
the propaganda. We do not hate the migrants. We don't hate them. You know, sadly, you know, it is what it is. But don't nobody hate them. We ain't got nothing. Black people didn't receive anything for building this country, having their patents stolen, and then they want to put that we hate people. No, we don't hate people. No, we don't hate the migrants. We don't hate the migrants. We don't hate them. You know, we never got reparations. We just never got nothing. And it's not their fault. It's not their fault. And people need to stop with that rhetoric.
Y'all talking about them coming down on that building out south. Whole time, that building used to be predominantly black. That building was predominantly Venezuelans, okay? There are people from that neighborhood that have been complaining about that building for a year, okay? They showed y'all broken windows and shit that were already there. These are the things that y'all have to stop doing. And this is why I keep telling people here in the city, particularly black people, pause so you can process. If y'all start responding to shit out of emotion, then you don't know what the fucking play is because you haven't had time to actually think. What people are doing are trying to get a rise out of black Chicagoans, okay? That was one incident. Then you had the guy out west that had the accident and they pulled him out and one of the agents was choking him and people were recording it, okay? So again, follow-ups to all of these things, never. Nobody ever comes back with the follow-up. They talking about, they're arresting black people in Chicago. All of the black people that they took from that building on the south side were released. The 37 people that they detained were all Venezuelans who were part of a particular gang.
So for those who are questioning about who I am and where I'm at, this is Adam Clayton Powell. This is the building that everyone is in an uproar about. So as I said, South Shore, this is your community, your neighborhood, and this building was not majority black when the ICE came. the other day. Yes, black people were affected, but this building was overran by illegal Venezuelan gangs. And I just had several conversations with residents who are moving their stuff out of here that confirm that. So stop letting media put that false narrative in your head that somebody coming for you, because they not. You was born here. You was born on this land.
And there you have it. There you have it. There you have it. You know, the media, and the ignorant mayor and the ignorant government, they raided a building and they, everybody's getting their panties and briefs in a bunch. Okay. A building that people were complaining about for years, that the Venezuelan gangs had taken over. So yeah, some black people did get detained, but they were released. Release.
I have been urging my people here.
Release.
Ollie, let me remind you.
Y'all better start listening to the real citizens of Chicago, not these paid actors, not the ones they got on the payrolls, but the real people that live in the city of Chicago. Don't y'all allow Mayor Brandon Johnson and Governor Pritzker, J.B. Pritzker, to allow y'all to get in trouble, to be unalived, and to be telling y'all don't have to listen to law enforcement. This is crazy. This is crazy. But this is April Showers. I love Chicago. I was born there. I know what Chicago was like when I was growing up. I know it was certain areas I couldn't go to. But for the most part, I love Chicago. Chicago looks like a ghost town now. Chicago has a dark cloud over it. And Chicago has been needing some control to it. But you need to listen to the real people that live in Chicago, not the people that are paid. And when you realize a lot of these people are paid actors, paid protesters, paid everything to keep the agenda going.
So that they can process things. Y'all talking about them.
So, only thing I can say is Brandon Johnson ain't shit. He ain't shit. That's all I'm gonna say. He ain't shit. Mayor Brandon Johnson is enticing, getting in an uproar. Lord, hold on. He's pathetic. He's pathetic. Don't y'all allow this mayor to get y'all in more. Now, look at that.
A couple weeks ago, I asked you if you would cooperate with ICE if your wife Stacy was.
Dang it. Oh, hold on, y'all.
Stacy's body was.
Hey, we just gotta get to the question.
Well, I'm making an apology, and if it was your wife Stacy's body that had been concealed and abused by Jose Luis Mendoza Gonzalez, the illegal alien, you said that you felt threatened by the question, that it scared you, and I do apologize. Over the weekend, President Trump said that you were incompetent, called you an incompetent mayor, called you an incompetent man. Almost on cue, 1,000 plus violent teenagers rampaged through your neighborhood, your adopted neighborhood of Austin, that you and your wife Stacey.
Hold on. See, just an FYI, there was a woman that was unalived by an illegal, and Brandon Johnson defends us.
And assaulted police officers, multiple shootings. A woman was shot in the back multiple times, who sadly passed.
William.
My question to you is simply this: do you, your neighbors in Austin, do contact me, and they tell me that they don't feel threatened by my questions. They feel threatened by your anti-curfew policies that are leading to these out-of-control, violent teenagers murdering, apparently. What do you say to your neighbors? What do you say to those neighbors in Austin who feel threatened by your policies?
Thank you for staying awake during our presentation. I know you have worked hard to get the necessary help that's needed.
Really?
And whatever condition in which that you are dealing with, I'm glad that you are getting some help. So
Is that honestly your answer to your neighbors who have been, a neighbor of yours was shot in the back multiple times?
So we are addressing community safety. That's my top priority. We will continue to do that.
Yes, my follow-up to you is simply this. My follow-up to you is simply this. You're the one who's having panic attacks. You're the one who is not keeping the people of Chicago safe.
We're going to go to the next question.
What do you say to Donald Trump? How did you feel when Donald Trump called you incompetent? What did you feel as a human?
Just address this. Thanks.
Please answer that question, if you would.
Okay, fine. Since you are begging, I do believe that Donald Trump is.
On behalf of the people of Chicago, I do ask questions. That is true.
I do appreciate you begging. So I would just say it like this, that the president has always been intimidated by the intellectual prowess of black men. And so, of course, he would speak.
I so hate when they bring up black man. Mayor Brad Johnson. Mayor Brandon Johnson, this ain't a black or white thing. You're an incompetent man.
I apologize. A couple weeks ago, I asked you if you would cooperate with ICE if your wife Stacy's body was. I'm making an apology, and if it was your wife Stacy's body that had been concealed and abused by Jose Luis Mendoza Gonzalez, the illegal alien, you said that you felt threatened by the question, that it scared you, and I do apologize. Over the weekend, President Trump said that you were incompetent, called you an incompetent mayor, called you an incompetent man. Almost on cue, 1,000 plus violent teenagers rampaged through your neighborhood, your adopted neighborhood of Austin that you and your wife Stacy moved into from Elgin, and assaulted police officers, multiple shootings. A woman was shot in the back multiple times, who sadly passed.
William.
My question to you is simply this: do you, your neighbors in Austin, do contact me, and they tell me that they don't feel threatened by my questions. They feel threatened by your anti-curfew policies that are leading to these out-of-control, violent teenagers murdering, apparently. What do you say to your neighbors? What do you say to those neighbors in Austin who feel threatened by your policies?
Listen to his
Thank you for
response.
staying awake during our presentation. I know you have worked hard to get the necessary help that's needed.
Really?
And whatever condition in which that you are dealing with, I'm glad that you are getting some help.
See how he flips the script around? Mayor John. Yeah. Hey, TNT. Hey, Patriots. Yeah. Brandon Johnson ain't shit. Okay. He ain't shit. It's my opinion. You know, he needs to let ICE come in and do his job, do their job, but yet he is telling people they don't have to listen to the federal government. You know, Chicago has been out of control. People can say whatever they want to. The young teenagers done took over Chicago. People can say whatever they want to. This stuff is right there in the face. They got videos, they showing you. Yeah. And Mayor Brandon Johnson and Pritzker are two peas in a pod. They received all of that money for migrants. They received so much money for migrants. The sad thing about it is you have people, the actual residents of Chicago, that want the feds to come in. They want the illegals taken out. That's all my medicine I take, y'all. They want the illegals taken out, the illegal criminals, and then they want some control. They want the streets of Chicago to be safe. But you got a sorry mayor such as Brandon Johnson telling these people, oh, you don't have to listen. You don't have to follow law enforcement. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. They are pathetic. They are a piece of work. And they are going to have the city of Chicago and the YNs. They're going to turn it into an unenlivened zone because they are ignorant and telling people that they don't have to listen to. I gotta check on my neighbor, y'all. They are telling people they don't have to listen to law enforcement. Hold on. I have to check on the neighbor. And so, I'm gonna say this. Because my family lives up there. I've got young cousins. They are going to follow ICE, the National Guard. They're going to listen to law enforcement. Okay? They're going to listen to the law enforcement. And if they know they didn't do anything wrong, if they get detained, they know that they will be released. Okay? Okay? Are we clear on this? Are we clear? And those illegals, if some of those illegals are falsely picked up, that's okay too. Because, you know, that does happen sometimes. You know, where some innocent people might get caught in the system. But just to say, don't listen to law. Oh, okay. Don't listen to law enforcement. You're telling people not to follow the law. Oh, my shoes, they're right here. But I've got a mat. I just wipe my feet off. I wipe them off before I go out. I walk and then come back. And now I just wipe my feet off again. Yeah. It's raining, so I got a lot of swelling. A lot of swelling going on. TNT. Yeah. So I just wiped them off. I have a mat that's got foot stuff in there. So trust and believe. You know, when I step in this solution, when I walk the halls, and then when I come back. So my feet are okay. But Mayor
What if the
Brandon,
devil didn't knock? He just left a box in your neighborhood.
7-year-old Amelia found her
Hold
father
on.
kissing
Neighborhood.
hold on,
The first time it showed up on our block, it didn't come
Yeah.
no dealer's hand. It came
hold on. Mayor Brandon Johnson. It's terrible for Chicago. Terrible. People, please do not allow your family members unalived by not listening to law enforcement. Do not follow what Brandon Johnson is telling you, that you do not have to listen to federal law officials. I'm going to play this video one more time. I hope y'all can get this. I hope y'all get this. Because this man is going to cause the citizens of Chicago and the YNs to be messed up. So, hold on. Now, this is
It
the
doesn't matter. You don't have to agree with it. We do not interfere with their orders. And when they go out to carry out their orders, they will do that the way that they're trained to do it and their understanding of what it is they have to do. Another one. CPD will not arrest and cannot arrest federal agents because someone deems what they're doing is illegal or unlawful. Their rules of engagement are different from CPD and other local law enforcement agents. We need to be clear about this. If we're not clear about this, we will see another event like we saw Saturday. We cannot move like this in this city. If we want to keep the peace in this city, we need to be smart about how we do things. And attacking law enforcement under any circumstances is not safe for anyone. Chicago Police Department revolver placed on my mama's pregnant belly.
Can you tell me exactly where we at right now?
We are at one of our communities, ground zero. This is one of our September 11 stories. And black people are the OVs, the original victims of terrorism.
Again, do not allow Mayor Brandon Johnson rhetoric and lies that he's spewing get you messed up. You have to listen.
It was a MAGA guy.
Be careful out there. The citizens of Chicago, all citizens, be careful. All citizens of all races, color, and creed. Please remember, you have to listen to law enforcement. We have to follow the rules. ICE is in Chicago to remove criminals. criminals, illegal immigrants. Let them do their jobs. It's unfortunate that they were put in the black communities. So yes, they're going to the black communities. So all of you young YNs, the gangbangers, everybody, y'all better get together, have some meetings. Because if y'all sit around and y'all listening to what Mayor Brandon Johnson telling y'all, baby, you cannot beat the federal government. You cannot win against the National Guard. You cannot win against the FBI, ATF, Homeland Security. You just can't do it. Don't let Brandon Johnson have y'all writing checks that y'all AZZ can't cash. Stop listening to that idiot. This is April Showers. Y'all have a great day.